Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the INFOWARS Nightly News. I'm Darren McBreen. It is Thursday, February 5th, 2015. And here's a quick look at what's coming up.
Tonight, campus cops gone wild. Why are so few held accountable? And the dangers of self-driving cars. That's next on the INFOWARS Nightly News.
I'm a reptoid clone of John Wayne and Elvis, not of Bill Hicks, okay? Let's just get that clear.
Well, police brutality continues to sweep the nation and has become an epidemic in our country. And unfortunately, this epidemic is now spreading into our nation's public schools. Seems like almost on a daily basis, we are getting reports of police officers who are assigned to these schools who end up abusing their power by abusing and assaulting school children and teenagers. How many times have we seen kids tased, pepper sprayed, beaten, thrown down, handcuffed, even very young school children handcuffed for misbehaving in class? It's all part of the police state indoctrination and conditioning of our nation's youth. Now, here's a report from Houston, Texas, where a high school student is suing his local school district after receiving a brutal beating with a baton by the school's campus cop.
A Houston area family is suing Pasadena ISD after they say a district police officer beat their son with a baton. The family says the boy suffered these injuries after he was hit 18 times.
I asked him why was he being such an about it.
Caesar says that sent the officer into a rage, beating him repeatedly with the baton, just like this one.
All right there. Just over and over again. Up to here.
Well, there you go. This 16-year-old high school student dared to talk back to the police, and he got his ass kicked. Don't talk back to the cops or else. I mean, they hit this kid 18 times with a baton, and the cop obviously went completely ballistic. But when you know it, the police department and the school district, they didn't see it that way. In fact, they thought the cop acted appropriately and that the beating was justified. Now, earlier this week, we also reported on 2 other cases of campus cops gone wild. At a school in Baltimore, 3 students were initially charged with assault and suspended after a police officer attacked them with a baton and pepper spray. There's no excuse for this.
The officer pushed Star against a wall. Her sister, also a student at the school, heard there was a fight.
So she goes over there thinking it's another child, and she gets over there as officer. And she went over there to try to stop her.
Next, Diamond arrived and appeared to shove the officer. The officer let go of Star and gave chase, pulling a baton and using it. Diamond was hit at least twice, it appears, including the blow from the baton that put that gash in her head.
One of these girls was only 13 years old. She had to have 10 stitches in her head after that gutless cop basically smashed her face in with a metal baton. The other 2 girls, they were sprayed directly in the face with pepper spray. Isn't that nice? Meanwhile, in Louisville, Kentucky, a cop viciously attacked 2 kids, almost killed a 13-year-old boy. This is what happens when you cut in line, by the way. They put this 13-year-old kid in a chokehold, almost gave him brain damage.
A Louisville police officer arrested after detectives say surveillance cameras caught him punching a teen at school and then placing another in a chokehold.
Surveillance cameras were rolling in the school cafeteria during lunch when detectives say Hardin punched a 13-year-old in the face, who he believed had cut line. The blow knocked the teen to the floor. Hardin placed another 13-year-old in a chokehold, knocking him unconscious. A doctor who later examined the boy says he, quote, lost blood flow to the brain, resulting in an injury to the brain.
I tell you what, you do that to one of my kids, I'll go vigilante on your ass. I mean, these cops obviously have some anger issues. A lot of these guys are on total power trips, and now they populate our nation's schools. And guess what else? The Department of Homeland Security, they're now giving them military supplies.
LAUSD got something called an MRAP vehicle. It's a steel-plated, mine-resistant, ambush-proof tank designed to keep troops safe during an ambush on, say, something like the streets of Iraq. But really, is it going to come to a school campus near you? They've also received 3 grenade launchers, 61 fully automatic military rifles that have been converted to semi-automatic rifles, and we understand that those rifles are now being used in officer training.
So the militarization of our nation's police department now extends into our public school system. I mean, you just heard the guy. They're now equipped with M16s. They have mine-resistant, ambush-protected vehicles, MRAPs, that were used in combat situations in Iraq and Afghanistan. Well, they're now patrolling the streets of America, and they're being utilized and installed in our schools. It's completely out of control. And they say we're the conspiracy theorists when we say now might be the time to start homeschooling our children. Yeah, you think? The police state isn't coming. It's already here.
The knowledge of the ancients, tried and true, trusted herbs and extracts fused with the latest nutraceutical science. Introducing the all-new Ancient Defense Herbal Immunity Blend, crafted with over 14 key ancient herbs and extracts to supercharge and prepare your body for what experts admit is the most dangerous season of the year. We have rejected hundreds of other formulations in our quest to bring you what is simply the most powerful and comprehensive proprietary formula that we have ever created in the realm of herbal immunity. For the last 2 years, our team has been working with top doctors, nutritionists, and chemists to develop the ultimate nutraceutical formulation. Experience the benefits of combining over 14 ancient herbs and extracts with exciting new advances in nutraceutical science. For a limited time, get 25% off on this introductory offer. Visit ancientdefense.com or call 888-253-3139. ancientdefense.com. Every year we make resolutions to lose weight and get in shape. And the truth is, it's hard, even with diet and exercise, because of toxic food and our environment that is stressing our bodies more than ever before. Working with experts in nutrition and biochemistry, I found that super high-quality nutraceuticals, in addition to my diet and exercise, were the answers that synergistically worked. I can see the drastic changes every day with the amount of weight I've lost, my increased stamina, and more of a twinkle in my eye. That's why we are now so excited to launch the INFOWARS Life Resolution Pack, combining 3 essential formulations: oxygen-based cleanser Oxy Powder, the Secret 12 bioavailable vitamin B12, and your choice of super female or super male vitality. Now all available at a discounted price to you and your family to bring in the new year and make 2015 a true success. That's InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. 2015 is the year to do it, and it all starts at InfoWarsLife.com.
Well, it's no secret that U.S.-born Americans now have fewer jobs than ever before. So why is it that presidential hopefuls and big corporations, why are they calling for even more foreigners to flood the job market? Well, here's Leanne McAdoo with a little story about a man named Jeb.
As he makes his move toward a probable presidential run, former Florida Governor Jeb Bush is making it very clear where he stands on immigration.
How do we create high sustained economic growth? And that's to shift away from family reunification being almost the sole driver of legal immigration to narrowing that to what every other country has, spouse and minor children, and dramatically expanding immigrants that are coming to work.
But what Jeb Bush is not talking about is what are all the Americans going to do when there aren't any jobs? Even though there has been a working age population growth of 11 million people, fewer U.S.-born Americans have jobs now than they did in 2007. This is according to federal data that was highlighted by the Center for Immigration Studies. Almost 1 in every 2 jobs that's been added since 2009 have gone to foreign-born workers. Since November 2007, the number of working legal and illegal immigrants has risen by 2 million, while the number of Americans with jobs has fallen by 1.5 million. All of the net gain in employment since 2007 has gone to immigrants, legal and illegal. And the jobs transfer from Americans to immigrants has only accelerated since the economy bottomed out in 2009. Now, despite the fact that the entire U.S.-born working-age population is 5 times greater than the entire immigrant population, foreign-born people have gained a nearly equal amount of jobs since January 2010. Now, clearly, this report highlights many companies' growing reliance on foreign migrant workers. And don't be fooled by this 5.6% unemployment rate that the current administration is really patting themselves on the back for. We've already reported how that figure is extremely misleading. If you are a person who has just stopped looking for work entirely in the last 4 weeks because the job market is just such trash, you've just stopped entirely looking for work. If you are someone who's employed part-time or what they term severely underemployed, even if you're someone who makes a measly $20 a week, you are not considered to be unemployed by the Department of Labor. Right now, as many as 30 million Americans are either out of work or severely underemployed. So this 5.6% unemployment rate is not only extremely misleading, it is a big fat lie. Now, we know that Mark Zuckerberg has been a huge supporter for increasing H-1B work permits. He joined forces with top executives and founders from Google, Yahoo, and LinkedIn to launch Forward.us, which was an organization created to influence the immigration debate. Their argument is that there is a shortage of U.S. workers who are skilled in science and engineering, and thus we need to attract and keep the best and brightest foreign-born workers. So they're really pressuring the Obama administration to increase the amount of H-1B work permits. But critics are calling these claims extremely exaggerated. They say there are plenty of Americans who are skilled enough to take these jobs, but what they do say is that the H-1B program allows U.S. companies to train foreign workers and then outsource them abroad at lower wages. And of course, this hurts American workers. Some Southern California Edison IT workers are beyond furious over their H-1B replacements. They tell ComputerWorld.com that the H-1B program was supposed to be for projects and jobs that American workers could not fill. But now they say that they are being forced to train their replacements. And that's an argument for H-1B work permits that we're hearing again and again, that they're only going to be bringing people in who are highly skilled, who are able to do the jobs that there aren't enough Americans that are there to do. But that's clearly not the case. And like a lot of the critics are saying, it's an opportunity for companies to outsource these jobs abroad and pay lower wages. Now, a witness at a House Judiciary Committee hearing on immigration enforcement says that there is an effort to facilitate immigration as a means to suppress wages. This is Temple University law professor Jan Ting. He told the committee this week, good luck with raising the minimum wage to $15 per hour for fast food workers, because the president has already announced that he's going to add 5 million illegal immigrants to the legal workforce in 2015, and every employer knows that. And employers also know that under the new Affordable Care Act rules, they're not required to provide health insurance for those who are not U.S. citizens. So who do you think is going to look better on that job application? So obviously, not only flooding the country with competition is going to be bad news for U.S. workers, it's also going to drive down wages. And if you think things are bad now, let's talk about all of the jobs that are going to be automated soon. Economists have no idea what to do with all of the Americans who are going to be out of work because their jobs are being replaced with robots. The coming jobs crisis is a national scandal, and it is not a part of the immigration debate. You can't just promise an influx of foreigners that they can come here and pursue the American dream, when for Americans, that dream is dead.